Hey guys, Ed from Paranormal Link, Ohio here, back at again with another podcast episode. Tonight's podcast episode is going to be about a bunch of haunted schoolhouses. I've been on this haunted school kick thing, so I decided to just do a bunch of them now at once. That way you guys can get a whole lot in. So we are going to start with El Paso, Texas. Haunted Locations in its high school is thought to be one of the most haunted schools in the United States. There are reports of what seem to be several different apparitions walking the halls of this high school. Living in the age of technology has its benefits. We carry cameras everywhere. We go and have the ability to share videos and pictures with the world at the touch of a button. Well, screens. The most recent spectacular spectral account to come from El Paso High was a video release showing the figure of a man in one of the school's upper windows before spontaneously disappearing. Granted, it could have easily been a lighting effect. The most popular of these ghosts is a nameless cheerleader who, as the story goes, is said to have jumped to her death from the school's balcony. The deceased cheerleader is claimed to still roam the halls, causing cold spots and mysterious mists, and could possibly be the same apparition caught in the several photographs. One photo shows a blurry but still recognizable shape of a girl standing with a graduating class, and another shows a girl standing between coaches at a football game. Even in death, this cheerleader didn't give up her school spirit. Next up is the Parker Road Elementary. Takes notes from the Poltergeist. When Parker Road Elementary was built in Florissant, Missouri, the building was constructed on land once used as a graveyard. Now buildings are built on former graveyards all the time, and the graves are relocated to new land elsewhere. When many believe, and when this particular graveyard was relocated, they missed a few, which would mean there are still bodies residing below the elementary school. As anyone who's seen Poltergeist knows, this is a sure way to cause a haunting. The restless spirit of those still buried beneath Parker Road are said to roam the halls. Students have heard the sounds of a girl weeping in the bathroom, only to find it unoccupied. Spooky enough, thankfully the weeping girl mainly sticks to her spectral self and doesn't cause many problems. Unlike another spirit within the school, a woman in an emerald-colored dress is said to be main terror of the elementary. Per Missouri Ghosts, the woman who's said to have no eyes in her ghoulish head has not only been spotted by several students, but has allegedly chased them through the school's corridors. It's not only the students who have had ghostly encounters. Teachers claim to hear disembodied screams after hours. Now we're going to move on to a trickster ghost that haunts the Bellevue Elementary in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Bellevue Elementary in Tulsa, Oklahoma is one of the oldest schools in the state. That's the thing about old buildings. They're old. A school built 2 years ago, pending a spontaneous tragedy, wouldn't seem like the type of place to be haunted. Whereas a school built over a century ago would have ample time to build its collection of spirits, if you believe in this sort of thing. When Bellevue was still operational, it shut down in 1990. It was believed to have a trickster spirit roaming its halls. It's said that a young boy fell from a window and died sometime in the early years of the building, per Halloween Head. The school building has since been renovated and turned into multiple businesses, but the boy remains. Glasses have flown off the shelf in a bar that now resides in a part of the old building. A man waiting in the lobby of one of the businesses witnessed the boy crawl through a window. He was on one of the upper floors, so of course he inquired as to the patio that surely was on the other side, only to discover two disturbing things. It was a straight shot to the ground, and the window the boy crawled through didn't even open. This ghost child gets his kicks, scaring the bejesus out of everyone. Now we're going to move on to a school ghost down under. The Kangaroo Inn School was built across the street from the old Kangaroo Inn in southern Australia. The inn provided a place for weary travelers from all over Australia during the Australian Gold Rush in the 1800s, and is the location of an unsolved murder. Though it is unclear if this murder has anything to do with the school's alleged haunting, it's believed instead that the couple who had run the inn are buried under the location of the school. Still, the hauntings have been more bizarre than a couple of spectral inn owners could account for. On a March night in 1993, a sleepover was organized to take place in the school. Sounds like a fun way for the kids to get out of the house. During the night, the students and staff alike heard a dog barking from somewhere in the school. But, of course, there were no dogs inside the school. According to Spooky Schools, everyone heard it, though. Suddenly, they spotted a ghostly terrier sticking halfway out of the wall. An orb floated from the wall where the dog had been chilling, and that got the dog moving. The terrier ran from the wall to chase the mysterious floating green orb through the school, barking incessantly. Needless to say, they were all terrified. So, we're going to continue on. And before I continue on, guys, I get all my information from the web or from books at the library. This is not where I've been there and my stories that I can tell. These are just information that I found, and I've compiled everything together. So, I usually said it in the beginning, but I obviously forgot. So now we're going to move on. And this one's kind of chilling. Children killed by Nazis don't get to rest in peace. It's generally believed by those who believe in the supernatural anyway, the ghosts are the restless spirits of those who had unfinished business left in the earthly realm. They're often tied to strong emotions or tragic events. In the case of the Waldneil Hostert School, it is definitely the latter. The school was used for some of the most atrocious activities ever perpetrated by the Nazis. If you guys aren't known about the Nazis, during World War II, in the 30s and 40s, the Nazis pretty much devastated almost the entire earth. They had all of Europe under their boot, and they were just horrible, horrible people that deserved the deaths that they got. Nazis were just terrible, terrible people. And what I'm about to read here, if you get easily offended or stomach churned by some of the things I'm hearing about Nazis, or if you're triggered, please stop listening now. Nazis, who at the time used the schoolhouse to children with mental disabilities. Here, Nazis horrifically tortured and killed the children within the Waldneil Hostert School. According to culture, the trauma that occurred within the confines of the school during Nazi rule was more than enough to leave behind tormented shades of the children they murdered. People have reportedly heard screams coming from the school building at night. Their spirits can be seen walking the grounds and heard weeping in the corridors. Waldneil Hostert School is haunted by children who may never find peace. Now we're going to move on to a poisoned band clarinetist still plays music at the Centennial Hall. Centennial Hall in Valentine, Nebraska was built before the turn of the 20th century and is the oldest standing high school in the state. Though it's currently used as a museum per Visit Valentine, rumors of spiritual activity, if not spirits themselves, have haunted Centennial Hall's reputation and its building for decades. The ghost that haunts Centennial Hall can be tracked back to 1944. The story deems to be cemented in stone at this point, whether it's true or not, partly because of rumors and partly because of the internet exists. Either way, the story states that a girl was poisoned within the school in 1944. While investigators were looking into her murder, they learned the vehicle for the poison was the reed of the girl's clarinet. According to Haunted Journeys, before the school was turned into the museum, the teachers claimed to see the clarinetist figure from time to time throughout the building. Things haven't changed in a whole lot, since visitors report generic haunting activity at the museum. You know, lights flickering, disembodied voices, etc., etc. What's spine-chilling is that the music can allegedly be heard coming from the school's former music room, even though it hasn't housed instruments in years. Now we're going to move on to a spirit that haunts the girls' bathroom in Caligo, Salvatierra. I probably destroyed that, and I'm so sorry. In a haunting that takes a face from J.K. Rowling's Moaning Myrtle, a spirit is said to haunt the girls' bathroom of Caligo, Salvatierra, a primary school in Santa Rosa, Mexico. That's about as far as the similarities between these hauntings and Roland's ghost go. The ghost who haunts Caligo Salvatierra isn't a weeping teenage girl, but instead a laughing young boy. The boy allegedly died there in the ladies' room while playing a game of marbles. The reason he chose the girls' bathroom, of all places, seems to be lost in history. The boy must not have been very good at the game because he accidentally swallowed one. He choked on the marble and passed away. Well, not all the way away. Reports say the child never left Caligio Salvatierra, nor did he give up marbles. Accounts from Travel Triangle say the girls of the school claim that the clank of those glass beads can still be heard in the restroom, along with a child's laughter. Laughing children are usually a blessing in life, but a child's laugh seemingly produced from thin air is enough to scare anyone. Now we're going to move on. A closing in a Malaysian school due to ghosts. The alleged haunting at SKM Pencaklan Chepa 2, a school in northern Malaysia, was so out of this world that it was featured on BBC News. In 2016, several students and staff members at the school reported having seen spirits throughout the building or having experienced other paranormal phenomena. So many, in fact, that the school officials shut the place down. Even the officials, this haunting was a real problem. They called in Islamic scholars and exorcists to get rid of the spirits that were running amok. Apparently, there was a black specter skulking around the building. A photo was released that clearly shows some human-shaped black entity hiding behind a pillar in SKM Pencaklan Chepa 2. I'm probably destroying that, and I'm so sorry to whoever, if there's any Malaysians on here or people from Malaysia, and I'm destroying this, I am so sorry. No one knows for sure who or what is behind the object in the photo, but the experiences of people who were there are chilling. One teacher claimed to have felt the presence of the figure hanging onto her, while a student says it attempted to enter her body. Another says the being caused his mind to be confused and his hands to go numb. All in all, around 100 people claim to have an experience from that terrifying week, while government officials classified the happening as a mass hysteria. Now we're going to move on to residents assaulted at the former Post Town Elementary. Post Town Elementary, of course, which was the other day's episode, in Middletown, Ohio, ran from 1937 until it closed in 2000. It has since become the home of Daryl and Brenda Wisman and the site of over 100 paranormal investigations. The Wismans now tend to the school so visitors can experience the paranormal themselves. An investigation will cost you several $100s, but that's how the spirits pay their rent. The Post Town School website has posted several videos of happenings within its walls. In one of the videos, you hear the sounds of children yelling, while the crew taping the scene acts wildly confused. There haven't been any living students in the school for decades, but Daryl Wisman theorizes that there were 2 train crashes here, the school at the turn of the 20th century, that could explain the hauntings per WCPO. Another video shows a door opening on its own. Daryl claims that every time that particular door opens on its own, he physically feels something. He also includes a photo of a head injury he received from this phenomenon. Yet another video of a sleeping Daryl's leg gets pulled by an invisible figure, while what looks like the head of a cat appears at the top of his bed. Post Town Elementary's official motto is, "When you leave, you believe," and that about sums it up. We're going to move on. The students are scared to be left alone in Potello High School's theater. Potello High School in Potello, Idaho, is apparently haunted enough to find itself on A&E's Ghost Hunters reboot. That's saying something. The school has gone through some trauma in its past. It's had 6 people die on school grounds and has burned down entirely in the early 1900s. Potello High is just the type of place you'd expect to find paranormal activity, and it's reported that several students and teachers don't ever want to be left there by themselves. School officials claim that haunted activity has been going on there for a long time. Sure, it's eerie enough when the piano plays on its own, but a video from the school's surveillance cameras is the real reason why paranormal investigators are so taken with the place. The video in question shows a shadow figure moving from a bench to the bathroom, and it's creepy enough to make you turn the lights on. Alleged students from Pocatello commented on the video to confirm the school is indeed haunted. According to ghost hunters, a ghost sitting on the bleachers of the school's gym has told students to be quiet. When the ghost hunters team investigated the gym, they recorded sounds that seemed to respond to their questions, as well as the heavy presence of an intense cold. So now we're going to move on to the atrocious killings echo within Matthew Whaley Elementary School. Matthew Whaley Elementary School in Williamsburg, Virginia, is named after a former student who died at the age of 9 in 1705. Whaley is said to be one of the students who haunts this elementary school. If that's true, Whaley would have to have an emotional bond with the school's concept and not the building itself, since the school was relocated twice since the time of his death. It's said that Matthew can be seen wandering the school grounds and playing on the playground. Teachers have also reported hearing his footsteps through the halls when the school was empty. Now, Whaley might not be the ghost who haunts this school. For one, the school isn't in the location a spectral 9-year-old would easily find. Believers in the supernatural tend to think ghosts gravitate to familiar places. Plus, there have been enough tragedies on the school grounds that other shades could be responsible for the happenings. 2 boys are rumored to have been lynched on the school grounds during a time of racial violence, per Colonial Ghosts. A common report of hauntings at this elementary school includes 2 boys playing together on school grounds. Now we're going to move on. Invisible prisoners might be haunting an Irish school. Deer Park CBS School in Cork, Ireland, was built on a site that was just begging for a haunting. The land where Deer Park CBS was constructed was once a place where they used to hang prisoners sentenced for death. Creepy, right? Well, the school began to notice paranormal activity right around Halloween of 2017. It easily could have been a prank, and there not been video footage that suggests otherwise. We couldn't understand how this had occurred, Deputy Principal Aaron Wolf said about the incident. If it is a prank, it's very well done. The video was filmed on the school's surveillance cameras, and the activity was first noticed by Wolf, who then sent it to Principal Kevin Barry in a "what the heck is going on here" type of confusion. The video show a door flying open with no one around, lockers being pushed away from the wall, and what looks like a wet floor sign being kicked by an invisible entity. Once Halloween had passed, the activity seemed to stop. Just kidding. The surveillance cameras caught more instances of unexplained phenomena, such as chairs levitating, a poster being ripped from the wall, and bags pulled out of the storage cubbies. If this did happen to be some sort of prank, the jokesters kept it going long after the holiday and make many non-believers question their convictions. Guys, that is just some of the tons of haunted schools around the world. These were some of the ones that I found most interesting, and I thought I could write up a good podcast episode on these schools. So I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's podcast episode, and I want to thank you all, and I love you all so very much for the love and support you give to Paranormal Inc. Ohio. Again, you can now subscribe to me on Spotify. It's $2.99 a month, guys. If you want to, that's awesome. That helps us, be able to go to locations, to do investigations, to get equipment, to go do the investigations, to keep things going. If you don't want to do it, that's perfectly fine too, man. I really appreciate you guys just coming out and hearing the stories and checking us out on Facebook. Go to ParanormalIncOhio.com. There you can check out some of the crystals and sage bundles we have for sale, along with some jewelry there that we have up for sale to go along with the crystals. Guys, I hope you enjoyed tonight's episode. I love each and every one of you, and I want to thank you all so very much for being here. And I hope you guys have a great night. Bye, everyone.